Why is it so important for you to see people that look like you in positions of power?
And I say this so much. This is like my biggest thing, and it's also one of the biggest reasons. Like I go back home and I talk to kids, and I tell them like I have a great story now, right? Like I graduated. I got kicked out of high school my senior year. I barely made it to college. I almost lost my scholarship. I was definitely one of those kids that were teetering, and it looked like I had everything together. And whew, whew. People that know me now, and I'm sure Marty can contest to this, me at 16 and who I am today, 10 years later, is a definitely a whole different person. And a lot of people did not see me being here. And a lot of that goes back to representation and why I go back so much. It's very hard to tell a child to be something they've never seen. You can say, oh, well, we watched the Cosby Show and we watched My Wife and Kids and I saw that. That doesn't count. TV does not count. You can't tell me that I can be something that I've not tangibly touched or seen. And when we talk about inner cities and we talk about underserved communities, right? If I grow up in an environment where my mother has not graduated high school, my father or my sister or my brother may be incarcerated, how do you tell me I should grow up and want to be an engineer? That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. I haven't seen it done. I haven't seen anybody that came from my circumstances that look like me that have done these things. So my biggest thing about representation is not only is it necessary, but it's necessary to be transparent. Right? You can't go into these situations and tell all about all your victories because that doesn't matter. We know you made it. We see that. How did you get there? Right? One of my favorite sayings is it's not just about making it to the top as so much it is about putting the ladder back down. Right? Like I need to know even something as small as growing up with a mother that was a WNBA player. When it was time for me to get drafted, I asked the greats. I asked Tina Thompson. I asked Cynthia Cooper. I asked Pamela McGee. Like I had these people at my disposal to say, like, how do I do this? As opposed to growing up in my teammate from college, her family didn't play sports. She was literally the only one in her family to play sports. So when it was time for her to get drafted, she calls me like, Monty, what do I do? And it's little things like that that matter. So going back to these neighborhoods and telling people like, this is how I did it. These are the things you need to be involved in because who's going to do it if we don't? And that's my biggest conversation. It's like, I promise you nobody saw me being this person. I promise you. But because so many people poured into me and kept dragging me along, here I am. So it's my duty to go back and talk to people that grew up in the same neighborhoods that I did, that went to the same schools that I did, and show them how they get out of their situation, how they change their situation.